Yes, I had succumbed to temptation. You might call this guitar a little devil. Welcome back to the 11th Fret, everybody. My name is Chris. Thank you guys so much for coming on back. It's not often I'm tempted into buying a guitar, especially one that is of a lower price point. I know you can call me superficial. That's totally okay.
You're superficial, selfish, and prejudiced person!
I always try to tell myself as I'm getting older that maybe I should be looking at, I don't know, buying more expensive guitars, some things to be proud of. And honestly, some of these more affordable instruments are holding their ground quite well. I mean, seriously, look at this one here. This is a 2022 Squier Paranormal Cabronita with Jazzmaster pickups in Lake Placid blue. I mean, this thing is gorgeous. And I saw it online and I was like, well, the price is really good, so should I get it? And I talked myself out of it repeatedly and repeatedly again, say no. But I favorited it on Reverb, and then I got an offer from the seller to get it for a cheap price, and I just couldn't pass it up. I couldn't pass it up at all. So I bought it, and I brought it here for you guys to talk about it a little bit, to discuss what I bought, why I bought it, and to just kind of marvel at what this is. So as you can see here, this is also a Thinline Telecaster body, which the Thinline series did come out in 1968 and has spun into its own thing. I've owned Thinlines before and I think they sound great, but they never really spoke to me. But when I saw this one really stood out because I've also owned a Jazzmaster in the past and I don't have one currently. I thought, you know what? I love Telecasters. I love Jazzmasters. This has Jazzmaster pickups in it and it's a Squier, so let's go ahead and give it a go. So I ordered it reluctantly. I wasn't sure what I was going to be getting. Originally, I imagined that this was going to have like a matte finish or an unfinished neck, kind of like the Affinity series with those Schaller/Godot style sealed tuning machines, but I was pleasantly surprised to see what I actually received. So as you can see, like I said, it's got a couple Jazzmaster style pickups. This thing is practically brand new. I mean, it technically is brand new, but what I ended up buying was an open box from a company called Pro Audio Star, which is based out of Brooklyn, New York, and I believe they have a shipping warehouse out of Virginia because that's where this shipped out of. But when I opened it up, it said it was an open box and that it was in mint condition, so I had some expectations. I've managed guitar stores in the past, and I know what open box can translate to, which is like, you know, better than used, but less than new. And so I thought there was going to be some sort of like, you know, store use wear and tear from customers playing it, but no, this thing is practically brand new. And when I ran its serial number through Fender's serial number checker tool, which I will link down below in the description, I was pleasantly surprised to see that this was manufactured in October of 2022, so it's only a couple months old, really. I was very, very delighted to see how clean and beautiful it was, and that it still has stickers on here, and all the plastics are on here too. The crown jewel on this one here is the Jazzmaster style pickups. These are Fender designed. I don't know where they're made. I did not take the pickups out to double check to see where they were made, but I'm sure it's a standard place in South Korea that's making all of Fender's import line pickups, and they sound really, really good. I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't expecting much, to be honest, but I mean, this thing has some jangle to it. It's pretty awesome. Another interesting touch that they put on this one is it has the bent style vintage saddles. So that's something you often see on, like, you know, obviously vintage guitars. They are stamped Squier, they're not stamped Fender, but they are just that standard bent style saddles. And the nice thing is that the height adjustment screws are not sharp to the touch, which if you've played like hard rock or punk rock in the past and you're just like, you know, strumming along, sometimes those posts can hurt. And this doesn't have that issue whatsoever. It's great, it's comfortable, it's easy. I'm really into it. As far as the neck profile is concerned on this one, this is a standard C-shaped neck. There's no frills to this. It's very comfortable to hold. It's a standard neck shape altogether. So if you're really into like big fat baseball bat necks, this is not going to be that neck for you. And it's just a nice modern C sort of feel. It's really easy to hold, very easy to maneuver up and down the fingerboard. I think it's beautiful. It works great. And talking about the fingerboard a little bit, we are looking at a 9.5-inch radius going up and down the neck. There's no compound radius whatsoever, so 9.5-inch radius, which is pretty standard for a Fender. And it also has narrow, tall frets. So if you're looking for like those medium jumbos or jumbo frets, this is not that guitar. These are narrow talls. And honestly, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I mean, it's really kind of a good player. It's easy to play. I was kind of surprised. Here's the truth about it, is I just got another guitar the other day, and I'm head over heels in love with it. I got a 2005 Gibson Flying V, and I've been playing it like crazy. Then this shows up, and now I'm playing this like crazy. The V is not put away, but it's kind of taking a back seat right now to this, because this thing is pretty awesome. So realistically, what gives? Honestly, I mean, it's an open box. It is supposed to be, you know, pretty worn, I guess, as far as like new condition is concerned. There is like no wear and tear on this. You can kind of see in the lights, my computer screen there, blah, 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 all my notes. I have notes. So yeah, you can kind of see there, it's really clean. It's a string through body, as you can see, and it's got a rear control cavity right here as well, so you can access all the electronics as need be. It's a semi-hollow body guitar, and it really is insanely light. It's only 5 pounds, 14 ounces, if you could believe that. I mean, this thing, I mean, you could play some sort of sports game with this thing, realistically. It's easy to handle. Very balanced too. I threw a strap on this guitar and stood up with it, and there's no neck dive whatsoever. It feels and sounds incredible. So I didn't do the unboxing in front of you guys for this reason, because I wanted to be fair to the company who I bought it from. I didn't want to make them look bad or anything like that by opening up a product and showing it off to the world if it had some damage. However, when I did open this guitar, it did have a defect. It was not functioning as expected, and that is something that I wish that Pro Audio Star would have caught. Now, I don't know what the story is with this one. This could have been a shipment that they received from Fender or from some sort of like, you know, maybe even Amazon on a pallet return, who knows? But I know that they are still selling these open boxes as of this day that I'm filming, and they're still priced the same price point, which I will also link down below. And so they may have like stacks of these things. It could be like floor demos or customer returns or possibly even vendor samples too. Hard to say. But this one did have a defect, and it was a unresponsive bridge pickup. So my initial concerns is that the guitar had a dead pickup in the bridge, and that was going to be kind of a bummer, because what am I going to really do with a dead pickup, right? I'm going to have to replace it, pay more money out of pocket, things like that. So that was kind of a bummer. However, I am a guitar tech, so I brought this over to my bench and I opened it up, measured the pickups. Both pickups measured beautifully. I think I got about 8.6K on the bridge and about 7.8 on the neck. So I was able to get readings, and that was very, very helpful. All right, so we got this on the bench right now, and I've already done the work to this. I did it the night before, and I just wanted to make sure it worked okay, because I didn't want to break this guitar out and then have it just be a dud out of the box. Because realistically, and I try to be fair when it comes to this, is that no one is perfect. No manufacturer is perfect. It doesn't even matter if it's like the most prestigious brand around. There's always an element of lemons that will exist out there, and I tend to gravitate towards those. So I always like to make sure that things work out of the box, just to make filming a lot easier. But I am trying to be as transparent and honest as possible and let you know that this pickup was dead when I first received it. And I'm doing so while the planes are flying overhead, because, you know, that's just how I have to work. So as you can see here, I've got two knobs, just like your standard Telecaster here, and it's pretty awesome. You get your volume, your tone, and a 3-way toggle switch. And like I mentioned before, this pickup was dead, and I was getting full signal out of here and just nothing out of here. So I got to work last night while it was like frigid cold. I think it was like 38 degrees in Los Angeles last night. That made it pretty fun for someone who's been living here for a while. But the neck is really clean. I mean, I love the feel of this neck. It feels nice. It's a high gloss polyurethane finish. Feels good. We got a string through body here, and just your control cutout in the back. So let's go ahead and open that up. I'm going to go ahead and use a number 1 Phillips. Let's go ahead and pull this cover off. I like to use a little bit of painter's tape to do that. It's real easy, simple, doesn't bar up the finish. So while we got this going on here, I can just show you real quick on the inside. You can kind of see how it's a Gibson style 3-way toggle switch. We got some vintage pushback wire, which is really, really nice. It's a nice touch. Usually you don't even see that on Fender stuff, but not that it really changes much. I just like the look of it. It looks like quality to me. It feels good. But way underneath here, you're going to see that we have some real tiny dime-sized pots. So you got your volume over here and your tone over here. And I'm not sure what that tone cap value is, but all I know is I'm going to replace all of it down the road. That's going to be kind of an important thing for me. So what I discovered in here was last night I was getting no signal out of the bridge pickup, so I measured the pickups on the back, and I was getting about like 8.6K on the bridge and about 7.8 on the neck pickup. So I was getting signal on both, and so I just knew that I had a short somewhere here in the the three-way toggle switch. And as I looked, there was a lot of lead pushed out on both the bridge and the neck pickup, touching the ground. So the neck pickup was safe. The bridge was kind of, well, not. So I reseated the leads in here, and I made sure that there's no cold solder joints. And that was that. And the signal came right back. I trimmed the edges, and everything's nice and clean in there. Well, as clean as possible for the time being. I mean, normally I would do a much better cleanup job for my wiring, but I plan on doing some stuff with this guitar, so I didn't even bother. Why? Why bother? Let's just make sure it works. Let's go ahead and put this back on, and we'll check it out. So now I got this beautiful guitar, and I am in love with it. So real quick, before it drives any of you guys crazy, I am going to remove this Fender decal right now because it just needs to go. I'm keeping this guitar. It's amazing. Oh. So satisfying. All right, how pretty is that? Oh yeah, that's so good. That's so good. Ooh, look at that. Look at that box light right there. Yeehaw. All right, so real quick too, just to give you guys an overview, I am running this Cabronita through a Boss SD1 Super Overdrive, which is the 40th anniversary model. That's the black with the yellow lettering. Going into a Fender Vibrochamp XD, running the classic Fender blackface setting on patch number 4, which is going out through a Suhr Reactive load into Logic Pro through a Focusrite Scarlett 18920, and I'm running a Fender Twin impulse response that was mic'd up with an SM57 on the center cone, and that is my speaker simulator. So it is a Fender Twin Reverb model that's running through a Fender Twin Reverb impulse response, and I think it honestly sounds pretty great. It sounds just like my old Fender Twin Reverb. I don't have any reverb turned on or any other effects. If I'm adding any reverb, it's going to be in post-production through Space Designer just to give it a little bit of fullness. And the only pedal I'm running, like I said, is the SD1. There's no noise gates whatsoever, and the SD1, every knob is set to noon. So what do you guys think? I am into this guitar. I like it a lot. I think it sounds good. It fits nicely in my arsenal of guitars. What really surprises me is that there has been a Squier Mascis Jazzmaster, and there's now a Squier Mascis Telecaster, but this is not a Mascis model. I think it kind of should be. I don't know. I think this will make a great addition to your collection if you're looking for something unique, yet something that is traditional all in one. It's kind of weird, right? But I don't know. I mean, you tell me in the comments. Let me know if you liked it or if you didn't like it. Ask me questions. But I do like this made in China Squier Telecaster Paranormal Cabronita Thinline yada yada yada. That's too many labels in this model. I don't know what to really call it ultimately. I'm just going to call it the Squier Paranormal Cabronita Telecaster Thinline. Yeah, it's about the same thing. So if you want to check one of these out for yourself, I'll go ahead and leave a link down to the B stock in the description, as well as all the new versions from your favorite retailer down below. If you would like to support the channel, buying through one of those links is an enormous help to this small channel who's not currently monetized, so please entertain the idea of buying through channels that recommend products. It's the same price at the end of the day, it's just the difference is going to be giving the retailer 100% of the profit or allowing them to share a little sliver to these small reviewers like myself, and so it does help enormously if you check those links out and make a purchase using those links. As always, thank you guys so much for joining me again through this little excursion. If you like content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to be notified when we upload new content. So with all that wrapped up, thank you guys so much for coming on back and joining me another round, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.